Welcome back to What's on My Needles. And this week is going to be week 2 for Sky. I know that the last episode that I aired was not Sky, but I will link it in the description below. Or possibly up in a card. That'd be my first time trying that, so we'll see. So Sky is this. Sky is a little bumblebee. And when they flip inside out, they become a beehive. This one still has a few of the little tails attached, but that's okay. You get the point. So last time around, I showed you the basic ideas with the wings and then how to connect them, but I didn't show you how to do the body. So this time around, I'm going to show you how to do the body. Body does start from the stinger and works up towards the head. And then the head is a separate piece that is knit in right at that seam between the yellow and the black. And then there are two eyes. Because Sky is entirely black, it is going to be very hard to see that, so I'm going to skip that this time around. So I will try to do everything I can when it's the yellow, just so it's a bit easier to see. So let me get set up and I'll be right back. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to these social media platforms. Links will be provided in the description below. So as said, I was going to do pretty much all the stuff that's in black off camera because there is no way to show knitting on black all that effectively. But I am at the point of adding the yellow in, which also happens to be the point where Sky stops being knit in the round and starts being knit flat. Now, normally that would mean switching to like straight needles or larger circulars. Unfortunately, because Sky is so little, I kind of have to leave Sky on double points even when I am knitting flat. But this is our last increase round as well. So I'm going to go ahead and knit 4 and then do a lifted left increase. Sometimes that's a make 1 left. There are, as always, multiple different ways to say it. So what I'm doing is I'm going under the stitch below the one I just knit. So there's one row in between the one I just went into and the one I'm picking up. And I'm going to go ahead and insert my needles through that one, through the left leg of that stitch, and make a new stitch. There are so many different ways to do increases. I find this one to be a little less visible in some ways. So normally people would do a knit front and back or a make one. I don't like those options, but that's a preference rather than it has to be this way. Of course, when you are designing your own stuff or when you are following someone else's pattern, you make the decisions that work for you and your knitting style and the pattern that you're working with. Almost all my patterns just say make one because I am leaving it up to the person who is going to make it. So on this last stitch, I can't increase all the way at the end because I'm just turning, well, can't increase there, sorry. So on this last stitch, I'm going to go ahead and knit in, cinch it up, and reach down below and do that make one. And then turn around. So that's how this stripe is worked. I'm just going to work back and forth and back and forth. Starting on the next stripe, there are foot pads. So it's purl bump pads that then become the feet later. The next stripe, unfortunately, is black. Therefore, I can't show you on the black one. And I believe I've also shown this on the hedgehog video and possibly even the dragon videos. So I'm actually going to skip all the way up to putting the head on. So yes, the head is black, but that very first row is the important bit of how to knit the body to the head. So I will be back in quite a bit, or quite a bit for me, short 12 seconds for you, to show you that next step. If you would like to help fund this page, please find me on Patreon at Theatrical Crafts. So here's the body for Sky, and then here's the head. And the head right now is just a little tiny circle. So I'm going to go ahead and line up the two pieces. And I'm making sure that all the ends are going down the center just because it's a lot easier to deal with that now than in a little bit. And I'm going to knit the two together. So taking one stitch from the body and one stitch from the head and knit two together. And just repeating that all the way around. So I'm literally taking my right hand needle and dipping it into the front stitch and then the back stitch. Trying very hard not to split the yarn. Sometimes it still happens, but again, trying. Now I obviously don't have all the ends on the inside. That's actually one of the next steps, is to get all the ends on the inside and woven in and get the feet done so that everything is all nice and ready to put the hive on. Now the beehive is what is going to be added next week. So hopefully you will be back for that. I know that Sky has taken a little bit of time to release, and I am very sorry about that, but thank you for bearing with me if you have in fact come back. So again, just dipping the needle in through the front and the back and pulling through all the way around. So there we go. I'm just pulling on that yellow yarn to get it snugged up a little bit. So that is how it looks at this point. The next step is to finish the head and stuff it. But again, black yarn, so it's a bit harder to see. So I will show that next time when I'm working with a different color, or on the next animal if it's a different color. So I will see you next week. Bye!